Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at how we were trading gold again today. Gold gave us another couple of really good trades today. This morning, gold was actually bullish off the pit open. The gold pit open was on this bar right here, triggered doji to the upside, caused the 5 and the 13 to cross to the upside. The 50 was above the 200, and this was actually looking pretty bullish, and you had some nice bullish trades to the upside. But then we caught this bar right here. This left this big topping tail. The body of the bar was buying, but left this big topping tail, and we were hitting significantly overvalued on our value charts. And we know that that's an area that we're either going to pull back, consolidate, or potentially reverse. And we got this really bearish bar right here. You can see it opened right here, pushed up a little bit, and then the whole body of this bar was selling. And it triggered this bar to the downside, and you can see this whole area right here, these two bars made a really strong push to the downside. And that was setting up one of our favorite trades on the Unirenko chart, which was a trend reversal breakout. And we were able to take that trade all the way down for 180 ticks. But then it ended up pulling right back up. We didn't quite hit significantly undervalued on there, but we hit our target area, and like I said, we ended up pulling that trade off for 180 ticks. And then we pulled up, and you can see after that, gold just held the 50 EMA. I mean, we broke underneath it, closed above it, went down, touched it, closed above it, went underneath it, closed back above it, underneath it, closed back above it, touched it, closed back above it, broke underneath it a little, closed back above it. And then finally, we pushed down here, and we broke underneath here and headed lower. And we caught another nice afternoon trade for 130 ticks to the downside off of this move right here. You could see that this bar caused the 5 and the 13 to cross to the downside, and the low of that bar was right there at the 50 EMA. This bar pushed down to the 50 EMA, broke underneath it, triggering our 30-minute trigger to the downside, and down we went. And again, on our Unirenko chart, we were able to grab another 130 ticks off of this move right here. So not bad. We got $1,800 per contract on this one, $1,300 per contract on this one. And those who were in the room this morning were watching us trade that. This is what that looked like on the Unirenko chart. This was our trend reversal breakout, and you can see gold was really bullish first thing in the morning. We had some really strong moves to the upside here this morning, and then we hit significantly overvalued right up in here. We came down, we made a pivot. It's not a lower pivot low. Our previous pivot low was way down here. A 1 bar pivot is not enough to consider this a pivot for me, so I do not consider this a pivot. But this is a pivot. This is multiple bars on each side. This is a pivot. 1 bar is not a pivot. So we made a pivot right here. Again, not a lower pivot low. Previous pivot low was back here. But then we came up and we did make a lower pivot high. And again, this is a pivot. Several bars on each side, lower pivot high. And then we broke underneath this bar right here to make a lower pivot low, causing our trend reversal breakout. This is what we call a trend reversal breakout. We went from higher lows and higher highs to a pivot, a lower high, breaking to a lower low, changing the trend to a downtrend. And then we took this trade again, took this all the way down into here for 180 ticks. It actually went lower, but got this reversal bar right here, and I was at 180 ticks, and I went ahead and took it off right there. It actually broke lower and could have had a little more out of that. Our new Trender Pro 2.0 still had us in this trade. Really no reason to get out, except I wanted to lock in profits. I figured $1,800 per contract. That's a good place to take profits. And like I said, we were extended at that point. We'd hit significantly undervalued. Had a reversal bar. Went ahead and took it off. Again, took it off a little too soon. Trender Pro would have had us in a little further down, but that's okay. Nice trade right there off of that trend reversal breakout. And then we kind of chopped all the rest of the day. And you saw on those 30-minute chart all those dojis just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then we had that break underneath the 50 EMA. And that ended up being this wick off the 18 right here. This is a wick off the 18. These are our trades that we like to take. You can see that price is below the cloud, below the smooth 50, below the 50 SMA, below the 34 EMA, below the 18 EMA, and making a wick off the 18 EMA with all of our moving averages in alignment. We had momentum, decent momentum reset right here. Wasn't quite a zero line touch, which we like even better, but decent momentum reset, giving us room to accelerate our trade to the downside. And then we just rode this trade all the way down here. You can see that MQ, or our new Trender Pro 2.0, was painting our extended bars right here. That's a signal that, hey, we're getting extended on this move. You want to tighten stops, consider taking profits. We ended up hitting a target area right here. At the same time, we were hitting significantly undervalued on our 30-minute chart. We had Trender Pro 2.0 telling us we were extended, and so we exited $1,300 per contract on that push to the downside. So all in all, not a bad day trading gold again.